LAII.
Alrighty, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are. Today, we will be in conversation with the president of the Liberian Association of Indiana, Mr. Rufus Tartee. And today's conversation promised to be very fruitful. And we will also have our brother and friend as one of the hosts here tonight. His name is Mr. Joseph Sele. I think you all are familiar with Mr. Joseph Sele. He's the CEO of the Open Table. He's the chairman. So this is Mr. Joseph Sele Jr. and Mr. Rufus Tartee is already in the studio. I can see Mr. Rufus Tartee is sitting pretty in the studio here. So Mr. Sele will join us in a split second. And tonight it's going to be a very, very good conversation. So those of you following us out there want to say, sit back, come and ask your president all of the questions, some of the burning issues that you want to ask. I know because somebody told me today, the person said, I hope the way the group chat can be going up and coming down. I hope people come to ask all the relevant questions since the president will be coming to the studio today. I said to the person, I'm hoping as well, and I hope everybody show up. So as we get prepared to have this conversation with the president of the Liberian Association of Indiana, we are asking all of our people out there to join the conversation tonight. Some of you who would not be able to join the conversation, you can also join the conversation on Logan's hour on YouTube. You can also join the conversation on Facebook. So we are coming to use so many ways that it's convenient for you to join the conversation. If you live in Indiana, it is important for you to join this conversation because um, this is the president who will be taking power over shortly. So we can ask him all of the questions, and we look forward to having a very fruitful conversation tonight. So while we wait a little more, just a little more, and we will try to share the show on all of the various chats to have the community resident and other people join this program tonight and speak to the president. So we will be back just in a split second. Thank you.
LAII.
The president is in studio, and we are trying to share this show with some of our folks in the Liberian community, and just taking still as we make sure people of the Liberian community join this program at this hour to speak to their president. So you can just hold on just a little more as we join our president.
LAII.
we 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 have been joined by His Excellency Honorable Rufus Tartee, and we have tons of other people who's joining us at this moment. So we are so glad that you make this time to join the Liberian community, and let's ask the president all of those relevant questions that are necessary for the growth and development of our community. And in a conversation with Mr. Tati the other day, and he said, "Well, I'm willing to answer the community. I'm willing to answer all of those questions that are burning and people would love to ask." So I have Mr. Uh, Jeremiah Chi as well, who will also love to be part of this conversation. So, Mr. Chi, we will be inviting Mr. Jeremiah Chi as well. So, don't 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 sleep on the next conversation because it's gonna be the tough talking Joseph Saleh. You all know Joseph Saleh. He's one of those pen pushers. So Joseph Saleh gonna be here tonight as well. So we just propping up, try to get all of our guys, try to get Joseph Saleh Jr. in the studio, and we're trying to get Mr. Jeremiah Chi as well if he can join us at the time. And we're gonna have a very good conversation tonight. It's gonna be so good to the point where you're gonna enjoy it because I have two tough talking people, um, Joseph and Jeremiah. Those two guys don't shy away from the issues, so it have been a very great time to have the president with us. So we will play one more, and when we come back, we will talk directly to the president because we can see the president. He's seated, and we just talk about our sister Marianne. She have a beauty store if you want to buy beauty supplies. Some of you who into uh, beautifying yourself, go and patronize from our sister Marianne. So you can have it for yourself if you need a location.
Hey, beautiful ladies of Indianapolis. Are you looking for a beauty place where you can buy all your latest human hairs and other beauty accessories? Look no more. The MD Beauty Salon, located at 3429 Kentucky Avenue, is just that right spot for all your beauty needs. At MD's, our customers' satisfaction is our foremost priority. Our staffs are friendly and accommodating. Contact us today on 317-360-2624. MD Beauty Salon, your one-stop shop for all your beauty needs. And hey, ladies, when you get there, tell Mariette that V girl is sincere.
Yeah, David Gertie Sentia. All right, so we have the president already in studio, Mr. Rufus Tartee. He's sitting in studio, and we just propping up and expecting Mr. Jeremiah Chi and Mr. Joseph Saleh Jr. They will be joining us shortly, and just received a notification from Mr. Joseph Saleh Jr. He will soon be with us here. So we I think if you have questions tonight, if you want to be part of this discussion, what we want you to do tonight is to ask your question by send your question by text at the appropriate time when the president expound on so many good things. Then we will open the phone line that you will also ask your question through by phone calls. But for now, we will advise that text messages. You can send your calls in by text messages. You can also put your text in the comment section as well. We want to take your text from the comment section and get in touch with the president. The president will address. We can rest assured you the president will address every concern here tonight. So let me just check with one of my colleagues quick and ask him. Uh, just a second. All right. So I want my colleague to be in studio before we bring the president in. So now we're going to do something that is very unprecedented. Mr. Tartee have to get the Liberian national anthem playing before he come out. So I know some people going to get better and say, "Oh, wow, the man are president of Liberia. Why you got to play national anthem before the man come out?" The man, he's president of the Liberia Association of EDN, and so by extension, he's the president of all the Liberians living in EDN. So whether you like it or you don't like it, he's president. So by right, he will have the national anthem played tonight before he can speak. So get ready for that. Start getting used to it. So no, Joseph Sele will be joining us shortly. Jeremiah Chi also will be joining us shortly. Okay. Okay, Joseph Sele said he's logging on right now. So Joseph Sele Jr. will be coming on, and Jeremiah Chi will be coming on. So tonight is about Mr. Tartee and the community. So though we try to spice it up, but at least that minimize some of the unnecessary hoarding and putting back and forth comments and whatever. So let's ask the president, so we have the opportunity to ask him some of those questions tonight. We look forward. If you want to be part of the conversation tonight, if you want to ask the president a question, put your question through the comment section. If you don't want your question through the comment section, you can also as well just call through and also we can deal with that. Just call through and let her know, hey, my question is this. You can send your text privately to Joseph Select Jr. if you want to send your text and you want people being involved with that. You can also send your text and say, hey, please ask my question. So it's going to be good for us here tonight. The president is in studio right now, so we are about to get started because tonight we're not going to keep the president too long. And all right, so tonight, as I stated, we're going to give the president his honor tonight. So, okay, I have the tough talking Mr. Joseph Sele Jr. He's in studio. And you know, Joseph Sele Jr. love the lion head. And the lion head is a symbol of somebody who is fearless. Don't care about how you feels. He do what he do because he do it purposely, and he doing it because he know he's right for doing it. So everybody know Mr. Joseph Sele Jr. I know we're going to disagree on this one tonight. Why I should play the national anthem before the president come up? But it is what it is, my dear brother. I can see him smiling back there. Oh, Pemina could say, Mr. Pemina says, Selling Putini. I beg you, please, the budget enter the studio. That can't be talking all right before you get about this strategy and start asking the president some softball question here. All right, so I already have Mr. Joseph Sele Jr. Before I bring Mr. Joseph Sele Jr. on, let me just recognize a few people who are following us here tonight. I have Mr. Samuel Law. I want to say Reverend Dr. Samuel Law. He's following the conversation as well. And Mr. Morris Gua, following G Consistent, Precious Logan, Angeline Mercedes Brown, Celine as well, and all of you following the show tonight. We are in conversation with the president of the Liberian community. So Mr. Rufus Tartee tonight will be addressing some of our concerns, some of those things that have been burning for some time that we want to ask question about. It is important to know that you ask a question. You can put your question in the comment section. You can also wait if you don't want to ask a question through the comment section. You can put your question through. But you can put your question through by calling in. We'll also be accepting call. You can call Mr. Joseph Sele phone as well. You can come on. You can also call my phone. So it is I don't know if Joseph will be accepting call because I think he's using his phone as well. So to my wife, Sama Princess Liwe Hamu Logan. I know she's fighting me on here while I recognize everybody. I know I'll call her name. So somehow thank you too for joining the Logan's hour. So with all due respect, we will not delay you too much. We will go straight to our president and bring our president on, Mr. Rufus Tartee, the husband to so. All right, all right. Enough of that. So we say that's the national anthem to welcome the president of the Liberian community. But before we bring the president on, we'll first of all introduce, we'll say welcome to the Logan's Hour, my dear brother and friend, Mr. Joseph Seliginian. Today is your debut on the Logan's Hour. So I want to say welcome to the Logan's Hour, my dear brother. If I bring the president on, you care to introduce yourself to our community?
I mean, good evening. This is Joseph A. Jr. Well, first of all, I'm appearing here to speak directly to the president and have some discussion as he asked me to. Sometimes last weekend, I remember last weekend we had this
On
discussion.
Saturday. Yep.
Yes, Saturday, and we're going to have a fruitful discussion, and we're going to discuss the community matters and other matters concerning him. My views today are not that of open table. They are not that of anyone associated with me. They are not of my parents. They are not of anyone in any way, shape, or form. They are of men, and they are mine only. I'm going to be speaking exactly how I feel based on my opinion and how I view things. So, without much ado, I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Logan. Thanks for allowing us to be here, first of all. Thank you for allowing us to be here for us to discuss with the president and for the president and how to use this platform. So we can go ahead and do that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph A. Aziki Sagasile Jr. So when you hear the message, look at a disclaimer, it may he going hard tonight on the president like a wrestling show because his views expressed here tonight is not a view of the open table. His views represent Joseph Siller Jr. So with all due respect, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say this is our president. Welcome, Mr. Rufus Tartee.
Good evening. Thank you.
All right. So, yeah, we can hear you. We hearing you. The president so relaxed.
Thank you.
The president so relaxed. You see the presidency how you can treat people, Joseph?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that he come with some coat and some t-shirt because maybe down the line he will have to take the coat suit to feel comfortable.
All right, Mr. President, you hear that?
I'm always comfortable.
All right, that's good. So let's just hit the ball rolling because we know it's already after 6, and I know this conversation will be for an hour and 30 minutes. So we will take 45 minutes to ask the president a few questions, and we'll use the rest of the time to entertain questions that come from our followers online, and also those that want to call through the phone as well. So, Mr. President, I want to say welcome again to the Logan's Hour. We'll use the time to ask you to introduce yourself to our people.
Good evening, my beloved community. First of all, I want to say thank you for having us on here tonight as we come here to address concerns of the community. And we invite the community to please come and join us so we can discuss issues that are affecting our community. We are very glad. I think this is the second time or third time for our parents here. And we are always happy when you allow us to use our platform to speak to the community. So I will say thank you very much, and I hope we have a full we have a fruitful discussion here this evening. And I invite the community to please join us as we go through the discussions.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. So we will just get the ball rolling. We will first take the two questions from Mr. Joseph Salit Jr. I would love to see Mr. Salit sweeping you off your feet before we get into a real discussion here. Mr. Salit, it's up to you.
The 2 questions.
All right. Yeah, can you just give me a moment before we start the questions? Let me just do my intro.
Okay, go ahead with your intro. Go ahead.
First of all, I know it has been a very sad past weeks for our community due to the death of a little Cully, whose demise 2 weeks ago. It has been a very sad event for our community. Our hearts bleed and our sympathy to the bereaved family. And I would love to take this time to extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to the community for the support that we received through them and the support that was given to the college family. You know, these tragic deaths is something that now as a community together and see how we avoid some of these things. We know our kids, you know, when they try to adjust that, sometimes it's okay, some
Mr. President,
you
you're
know, at
coming
time.
very faint.
For the few time I've been here, I think probably there should be maybe. For the few times that I've been in this community, I think probably there should be maybe the third or fourth time, you know, we have some, I mean, this kind of tragic death in our community. And so this is the time that we as a community need to come together to strategize, to find ways that we can try to avoid some of these untimely deaths of our youth. And so we will be having discussions with families that are being affected by these kind of, you know, sad events. And we'll be meeting other community leaders to see how best, you know, we can come up with some solution, whether it would be a working group, you know, a group that will be able to meet our youth to discuss about, to talk to our youth, some mentorship for our youth in the community. I think that's something that we need to do. But again, we say our hats off to the community for their support and our deepest condolences to the Colley family. On the national scene, we also lost Dr. Se Guano a couple of days ago. We want to say our condolences to the family and to the Republic of Liberia. Dr. Se Guano was one of those who contributed to the historical works or writings of our country, and we have lost a brain. And so Liberia and the community here, we say condolences to the family, and our prayers are with them as they go through these times of bereavement. So I just wanted to make that intro before we start our discussions.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. And we are saddened by that as well. So we turn it over to Mr. Joseph Select Jr.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for speaking to the community, even though it was concerning to see that you were absent noticeably at the funeral. Your wife and other members of your administration, they are extremely well. They're extremely well, even though we wanted to see you here at that time during bereavement. And they absolutely did well and had their hands around the family and the community came. They all contributed immensely. We thank the community. Again, our hearts go out to the grieving family. We ask that in the foreseeable future, some things we know that, even though we're not praying for that to occur, that we need your leadership and your presence here when such thing occur in our community. So while it's true that you are absent, we excuse you on this one. Now let's go back to this community matters. Mr. President, I would first of all like to ask you, because you are the head of the community, how much familiar you are and how acquainted you are with your constitution of the Liberian community, the constitution and bylaws. How often do you read them? That is my first question, and I'll have a follow-up.
So how often I read the Constitution? I read the Constitution when there's a need. I read it. It's not something like a steady guide. If we have constitutional issues, I go there and try to research what it is. And there are some parts that we should know offhand, and those are things that we know offhand. But you can't memorize the whole Constitution. I did not, and I didn't memorize the whole Constitution. But yes, I go there to research if I have constitutional issues to discuss or to deal with.
Thank you. So That will lead me to my next question. Not too long ago, we saw the memo or notice from the election commissions, their guidelines. First of all, a shout out to the election commissions. Everyone working over there, they are doing a voluntary job. They are working immensely and doing a job that is voluntary. We are not paying them. So we are grateful for the job that they are doing. We understand that this is voluntary and they are not taking pay and they are using that time and taking that time away from the family. So we say thank you to them. However, there was a line in the election commission of memo or guideline or notice that they put out that caused concerns and noise in the Vera platform. We saw the line, we asked that the line be removed, and you came out forcefully defending the election commission, like which of course I believe it was not your duty to do so because they are not working at the will and pleasure of the president. The election commission, they were elected, and the bosses of the people that you appointed, we are their bosses, the voters. We are their bosses. So when you come out to show support openly, you are stepping your boundaries. However, if you go back to your constitution, the constitution talk about Article 8 or Article 10, sorry, of your constitution. It talks about the duties of the election commissions. And Article 11 spoke on the responsibility or the disciplinary action of members. Nowhere in the constitution that you are supposed to protect as president did it ever say that voters can be suppressed, suspended in any way, shape, or form. We are in a democracy that we protect. So I ask you again on this platform that line be removed. If you think it shouldn't be removed, what is your reason for, first of all, coming out openly to support the election commission, which I believe you shouldn't have done? They should be working for the community and they should be speaking more to the board, not you. Even though you are not participating in this election, we mean your complete distance away from the commission. So what is the reason, Mr. Rufus Tartee, for supporting election commissions with such rules that you know that is capable of undermining the fragile peace in this community?
Well, first of all, I think there's a lot of misinformation you're trying to give up here tonight. Firstly, let me just start off with you talking about my presence at the funeral. Death is something that is uncertain. Nobody plans for it. And so I just want to let you know that I had plans, a family engagement that I had to be to when this whole when this whole bereavement took place. Besides that, I am the president, but I have polar officers. The vice president, of course, was there, and of course, you said my wife was there, and other community members were there. This is what happened in a participatory democracy. You know, one man can run the show. So this is why you were able to elect other officials, and I hope they were, and I'm sure they were there. Coming back to the election commission, look, I don't want to speak to what the election commissioner said and what they didn't say. The election commissions, if you want to call them up here to do clarification, they can do clarification. When I said I was going to protect the election commission, I also said that look, these commissioners are working at the will and pleasure of the community. Now, if you have issues, for example, look, now all the rules that will be made that will satisfy me, but to come up uprightly, not even trying to first of all commend the work the guys have done. And the first thing that came up was criticism. When I said, "Oh, congratulations to the election commission," even when they posted the listing, and you and myself live in this community, Mr. Silly, it takes few men and women to step up to even say, "Look, I want to be not even how they call it secretary, but just to be even chaplain." If you even look on the list today, the list is not even filled with all the people we have in this community. So my thing here is, if we have a group of people who have volunteered to work, let's respect the work they do. If we have differences, there are ways to address it and not going upright to attack them. When somebody come and say, all the education you got in this country, this is the thing this is it, this is how you can put it into use, I think that's an insult to the commissioners. And so I came out and said, look, I will protect these people. Protecting them meaning was, look, I appointed them. I'm not here to do their job for them. And I'm not saying whatever they're doing is right, but there's a way that we should be able to channel these grievances and not going uprightly, calling their names and attacking them. They seem right, I have to protect the voters. They seem right, I have to protect them. Now, look, I think that particular line, to say the voters should be punished for, you know, uh, campaigning, in my personal view, look, it's not right. I think it's something that we can work on, but that should not be something that should be attacked. Like you said, if they're supposed to report to the bull, why should you channel your grievances to the bull? But when you come up in the public, and grossly attack these young men and women who have volunteered their time, then I have problem with that. And that's why I say I will protect them. And how can I protect these people when they are working, even though they work for the community, but also they work under our supervision, because I'm the president. Now let's think if there was a national issue, right? I won't say that for somebody to go, God forbid, and throw petrol bomb in Jeremiah's house, no. So what the government do? The government go there to protect the election commission, right? So if somebody is here and verbally assaulting them, we have to come to protect them. I'm not protecting their work, but as individuals, they have the right under the constitution of this community to be protected, just as the voter has right, the commissioners do have right to be protected. So now all the rules that are being made that I would favor, but it's not my place. This is why, and before the end of the show, I will try to announce the next general meeting. We come to those meetings, or we can go to the board, and the board will be able to address the issue. So we'll come to this meeting and discuss this issue. So I just want us to be safer when we come to discuss these issues, especially when people are out there having sleepless time or sleepless night, to make sure that we have something what we call uh, election guidelines, or even prepare for an election. So this is where I stand from when I say I will protect them.
Okay. Just for the record, you said that in your opinion, that rule didn't sit well with you.
Yeah, that's my personal feeling, and I have nothing to. I mean, that doesn't mean that election commission will have to take it. But when you say violators, voters, now my thing is, and I've always preached that, look, during these elections, people, the contestants should be responsible enough and say, look, if I'm running, I would say my name is Rufus Tartee. This is my campaign manager. My campaign manager is, XYZ, or ABC. ABC is my campaign manager that will be introduced to the public. This is our spokesperson, And so if information emanating from ABC, who is my campaign chair or my spokesperson, that means you're speaking directly for the campaign. So those people should be held responsible. Now, as a non you know partisan, I am just a regular Joe in the community who just waiting for election day to go vote. I can go stand somewhere and talk about election matters, even though that would be in frequent violation of what that clause is saying. But what is my attachment to any political group or any political institution? So I feel that that rules is kind of a little broad, but there's a way to address it, and not that as verbal assault or verbal attack on them. It is just said where, and that's where we came from. We say we know how they will be protected. But yeah, you can't just say the whole group. Nobody can talk about. I mean, if the campaign is speaking and they're speaking before time, they should be held responsible. But not a regular Joe sitting in a taxi or on a bus and talking about a Liberian election, and then you say because somebody heard it and come back to say something to you, and you try to punish them for that. I don't think that is right. Now, maybe they have an explanation for that. Again, I don't know where that rules came from or what basic that rules were made, but I think maybe they have a reason for that, and so we should give them the opportunity to explain to us. But as I look at it from the physical, I think it's too broad, for our community.
Okay. So,
Okay.
Mr. President, before Joseph asks the last question, can you just lay your phone in the landscape mode, because a lot of people say they want to see you clear. Yes, you can just twist it. Okay. Joseph, can you twist yours too, if that's possible?
Twist. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just lay it on the side so you can clear the black phone on the side. Yep.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Now they can see a Ziggy Zaga clear. All right, go ahead with the follow-up, Joseph.
oh no. Well, thank you for answering that question. Like you said, you want to have a general meeting, and we have to discuss that further. I would like to say, I will turn it over to you before I ask another question. But the election commissions, their duties and responsibilities within the constitution of this community is in Article 10. The constitution tells them exactly what to do. I don't think they are allowed to make laws. And for that, I won't ask you that question because you are not the chair of the election commissions, and I'm not going to ask you that. However, you said you are a regular Joe. We don't dwell on rumors.
I say if I was a regular Joe.
Okay, if you are a regular Joe, all right. Thanks for the correction. We do not dwell on rumors. Are you going to be taking a position sometime down the line when elections open to support a candidate in this process?
No.
All right.
No. I have said it, and I said it over and over again. I have always supported my vice president to run, to succeed me, which in every administration, this is what you fight for, and this is what you want to see. As president of this community and as divisive, like, I will vote. Don't get me wrong, I will vote, but at no time that I'm going to declare publicly a support for any candidate. We want to stay neutral in the process, because as you look on all the teams, there is not one person from this administration that is participating in this election. Now, if I have anybody, my ways and means, maybe my youth has spoken, somebody running, oh, definitely I rest assured that I was going to take a side. But as long as my government is 100% clear out of this election, I'm going to remain neutral. I will vote, but I'm not going to campaign or endorse any candidate going forward. Now, the people that work with me, they have the right to, choose a side. They have the right to do whatever they want to do. But as president, I will stay out of the whole political debacle as we move forward.
Thank you. Logan, you can take it from there.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Joseph Saleh. So we have been joined by our brother, Mr. Jeremiah Cheer, while he's driving. So Jeremiah Cheer, we just go to you, and you can ask the 2 questions.
Gentlemen, thank you for welcoming me on the show. Good afternoon, good evening, Mr. President. You spoke well, and I think from every instance, you seem to be proceeding on the right trajectory. I have a question for you. We've been getting information from all walks of life relative to voter roll. We know you are not the commissioner of the elections, but you are the one who is going to be turning over, your government is going to be turning over the state of affairs to another president. And what comes to mind is people are out there thinking about the expediency, the process leading towards it. According to the Constitution and so forth, the readings and the writings are all on the wall. People said you attend a meeting, you have to sign as a regular Joe at that meeting. I'm borrowing your words. And then on turning over documents to the EC, there are speculations and allegations. We thought that you clarified them as relative to this process, whether there are photocopies being made or there are things type reading that is electronically driven towards this process, or there are things that are being signed by normal people other than the typewriter? Can you clarify that?
All right. Okay. Thank you. Look, I think I personally know what election means in this community. And when we took over, we wanted to make sure the experience we had during the last election, we shouldn't have it. When the election commission requested that they wanted the attendance, uh, as a responsible government, we had it electronically made already. So we turn the electronic copies to them, and we also turn the hard copy to them. So our whole box, right now with all of the documentation that has to even sometimes do with meetings and attendance is in the hands of the election commissioners. And not only that, we also did a type copying that we sent so they can match the hard copy with the loose copies that they have. So nothing is secret. And as time goes by, for example, if the various candidates think that they have issues, look, they can always call the administration along with the commissioners. We can sit and discuss this issue. There is nothing here to hide. Um, One of the major things here about election in this country is attendance, and just I personally have issue with that particular line, in the rules that were given by the election commission. I personally also have problem with, this attendance issue, because look, we had almost 1.5 years of COVID, and most of our activities, was geared towards, moving forward, the community forward. And at that time, we expected to have a lot of meetings. But because of COVID, 1.5 years, we didn't have time to attend meetings. Now, I can dictate to the commissioners exactly if they continue, if they say, look, this clause, they must take it because in the Constitution, they must press it through. Fine, because most of the time, I know they're suppressing, like, due payments. They suppress due payment because probably it suits the majority of them or the majority of the candidates, they suppress that. But if I have seen in it and I have, some input, I would specifically say, look, you know what? Attendance there is as much as it's good. But look, what happened in COVID? Even right now, people still going to meetings, they still wear masks. So I think attendance is a good thing. But with the circumstances to went through with COVID, meetings were suspended. Some meetings were held most of the time, sometimes on teleconferences or online. And, sometimes you don't even know who is on and all of that. So this attendance issue is a good thing. But again, one of the circumstances, we sometimes may have reconciliation, but that's not the place for me to speak. I'm here to protect the Constitution, and for protect the Constitution to the full. But as Sam speaks, which is the final arbiter of adjustment in the Constitution, whatever it is, we will listen to them. But every document we have relates to attendance, we turn it over to the EC, both electronic and the hard copies.
Okay, Jeremiah, your last follow-up. And Mr. President, let's just make it a little shorter because we have to read off here. The response. Jeremiah, go ahead. Oh, you're in the background. Sorry. I heard the man in the background just said, I didn't give you the man in the background.
You chill me.
Sorry,
thanks for your clear deliberation. Another thing that comes to mind is the procedure in galvanizing your finances over the period of time of your 3 years in tenure. Have there been problems with the collection of dues and due payments by your citizens? And if so, what is the position currently? Where do we stand as it relates to the finances of the community? Is it going to be turned over in tight? When I mean in tight, I don't mean to say something is going to be wrong with it, but is it going to be feasible? Is it going to be something that the government, that the incoming government can use and better the lives of the citizens?
Due payment in this community would be a problem. Even all of us on the show, if we chat right now, I know some of us are old, even including the Celia and every one of us. Somebody may old right now. So due payment is something that have been a problem all along.
Pay.
I said
Go
some
there.
of us. I said some of us. So yeah, now good you have paid, Mr. Sele. Thank you, you have paid. Congratulations. But all of us
Over.
on the show, somebody may be even maybe myself, I still. All right, look. All right, Mr. Sele. So yes, look, but this government, and I must give credit to our finance people and give credit to the community. I think we have been very much successful in collecting dues compared to past governments, and so that credit goes to the community and also. No, when it comes to the money issue in this community, it's a simple thing. Past government, we didn't see bank statement. We saw final reports. Or we were seeing reports. Bank statement were never brought to a statement. And again, we didn't.
Mr. President, your internet is terrible tonight.
I'm giving you a
They'll have
financial
to pay.
report. The hacker of the bank statement is always present. And nowadays it's so easy. All right, maybe I need. You want me to change my position?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, your internet is very
Can you
terrible
hear me?
tonight. Yes, but your internet, you're coming in very bad.
Yeah.
All right, so that
You're
gave me
coming in a bit.
All right, just why changing your location? We will look up to Jose Aziz
All right.
Zagasele. We want to make clarity on that use issue. Because I can see that you were yelling on it.
No, I just wouldn't allow the president to come over here and make mention of my name, even though he was trying to say some people and then he posted their name. I pay, not just pay, I overpay for the 3 years. And with the exception of that, I have supported his ways that he is aware of. But I mean, we all know that the due paying process in this community is something that a lot of people we have problem with, and it's right. It's something that every administration will have to figure out. So that thing is not just on his administration. That due process payment or stuff been something that's been long in this community. Yeah, Mr. President, you can take it over.
Yeah, all right. So, like I said, I think we are being transparent from the get-go, and we'll continue to be transparent. And so, from day one, I think that would be the first thing the incoming government will be looking into the finances, and we are ready, to turn over. And I must rest assure you, Mr. Chair, that look, this administration is going to leave a good sum of money in there for the incoming government to start operating on. So we'll be open to audits. We'll be open to questioning the way the finances were used. Like I said, I mean, we are open government. There's nothing here to hide.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. So if you're following us online, if you have your question, you can also ask a question in the comment section, or you can wait 30 minutes to the end of the show. You have the opportunity to call and ask the president. Since Mr. Sere started with the electioneering processes, so Maurice, we will call you back because it's not time for calls. You can send your questions into the comment section. We'll read your question to the president, but the calls will be 30 minutes to the end of the show. You can call my phone, you can call Joseph's phone, you can even call the president phone if that makes sense. All right, so since Joseph talked about election issues, I would just go to that point. I know I shouldn't be asking more questions on the electioneering processes, but my question to you, Mr. President, now when the community is about to go to election, which community do you look forward to see after this election? Do you look to see a more unifying community, or do you look to see a community that is divided? What do you hope for after this election?
Yeah, thank you. In leadership, sometimes people feel that when you live in power, you want to create an atmosphere that will cause the the incoming to feel so that you can be praised and say, oh, when Mr. Tartee was there, it was not this way, it was beautiful and this and that. No, I want to see a community that will follow what we have started, that will build on what we have started. And this is why, I'm happy that at least as you look among the candidates in the community, we have, young men and women who I think they are capable of leading this community. And look, I must rest assured that I'm willing, I'm happy. Every day I go to bed, I'm happy that any of these individual win, the community have won. And I think the legacy that we have started will continue. But yes, we want to see a unified community. We want to see a community that will come together more and more. A community that will be able to be stable. A community that will come together for development. And so we want to make sure, and this is why we continue to, ensure that this electionary process are, free and fair. And we want to continue. Now, look, we're having problems now because, look, our communities have never experienced a smooth transition before. We have never experienced incumbents sitting over an electionary process. This is the very first time. So when you see people say, "Oh, the mayor taking side with election commissioner," or he taking side this way, because our community is not mature enough, they have never experienced this. So my silence, it causes problem. When I speak, it causes problem because we are not used to it. So it's going to be a difficult thing for us. But all I can hope and pray for, look, we all have conscience, and I'm going to lead this community with my conscience that I have done from the beginning to the end. And I hope to hand this community over to the next person in a very positive manner, so that they also can come and improve on what we have started.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. So let me ask my second question. I know somebody here sent in text and said that was a softball question. So this is my question, my second question to you. Knowing the fact that most time when you go to donuts to ask for assistance or to seek material assistance or whatever assistance, they believe in the numbers. They believe in the numbers. First of all, they want to know if you have conducted your survey. They want to know the number of people who will benefit from what you will be taking from them or finances. And on your last 3 years serving the Liberian people, can your administration say tonight that you people have conducted a survey to know the total number of Liberian living in Indianapolis? How many male, how many female, how many school-going kids?
No, frankly, no. That was part of our agenda. That is something that we wanted to have done from the get-go. Our youth and spoke, our youth leader, we came up with a form that was designed. First of all, we wanted to know high school graduates. We wanted to know college graduates, and the professionals and non-professionals. And then we wanted to do a statewide census to know the number of Liberians. Again, within that period of time, the COVID came in, and so that whole project died down. But that was something that we wanted to do. And this is something that I would encourage, the next government to do, because it's important. Every time we go to major functions, those are the questions that we are asked. And most of the time we just estimate off our head, and say, oh yeah, probably in the greater Indianapolis area, we can count maybe 1,000, Liberians. And frankly, it may be more than that, but how can we prove that? And so that was a challenge, and we really wanted to have accomplished that, but unfortunately, we're not able to do so. So we hope that it will be something that we can work with the next administration to make sure that that census is done, so that we'll be able to know the number of Liberians that lives in the borders of Indiana.
Thank you, Mr. President. So we go back to Mr. Joseph Aziki Zagasile.
Oh, well, Mr. President, you made mention of the first time incumbents over the election process. I understand that you would like to massage your ego a little bit, put your own home, but that's not the first time. Even though you're trying to mirror your administration with that of Mr. Alvin T. Payne, that's not the first time an incumbent has been over the election process. Mr. Castle Dennis, who was president of this administration, was over election process. The election between Mr. J.D. Walker and Mr. Chokon Campbell, or Chokon Bayou, sorry. So Mr. Castle Dennis stay in power over the whatsoever. I know you're shaking your head, but I know he was in power.
That's not true.
I know he was in power. It's not fair. and we can go back. You cannot shut the history of this administration and just leave it with just you and Mr. Alvin T. Penn. We can go far back in that, but we can't dwell on that right now. Will you be, Mr. President? Will you be around for election week in this community, which is crucial because I believe they will be giving out the results few hours after the process. Will you be around? We understand that life and can happen anytime, and you have some things that maybe might pop up in your schedule. But are you planning to be around for election weeks?
All right, let me just come to the whole election thing. Well, Mr. Dennis was in power. Mr. Dennis' term was over, and Mr. Dennis was looking for. I think it was the bull that even conducted the election because Dennis said his time was over and he was done. The documentation was there. He told them to come for your paperwork that he's done. If nobody want to take this thing, he's not part of it again. And so I just want to make that correction in history because I was here. Okay, but coming to your question, look, I don't know why you keep questioning whether I'm going or I'll be around. I'm here. I can that election be held. The incumbent is, and it's not. I have to vote. I'm going to be here. Yes, I will be here when the results are announced. And probably I will be the first person, to call the winner to congratulate them.
Okay. We ain't gonna go back over that long exposition because Miss Sia Father Brown was president when Mr. Dennis win the election as well. She was here. So we're not gonna dwell too much on the history of LAII. I mean, we know that it's not the first time. This is not the first time for incumbent to be in power through this process. The next thing, how we understand that when people are running for office, they build a team that they trust. They put people around them that they trust. They are aware of the people around them. They believe in the work that they can do for the community. You make the conscious decision to pick Madam Miko as your vice president. I believe that you trusted her. I believe that you know that she can deliver in your absence. However, over the nearly 3 years of your administration, Madam Miko have never held a general meeting in your absence. While you are here or not, Madam Miko, again I repeat, in your absence, never lead this communication or this committee or held a general meeting in your absence. Why is it that you pick her as a VP, a trusted VP, and you have never afforded her the opportunity to do so, knowing fully well she is capable of steering the affair of this community?
I don't think your facts are right. Miko you're talking about hosting meeting. Miko have done more than just being a host of a meeting. During our probably the second 1.5 year into our leadership, we lost our secretary. He was not functioning before he even submitted his resignation. Miko stepped into that gap, and she was able to be the custodian of all the communications for the association. And not only that, Miko have hosted program. She was able to organize with the support of the administration. She was able to organize the Liberian Nursing Association, something that picked up well until the COVID came. Miko and others were able to organize and implement the health drive. Miko, as a VP, is she is a member of all the alcohol committees that performing is, that the Constitution provides for. So Miko is the head, or she have oversight responsibility on all the committees. So all of these programs being successful is because Miko is involved. So she have worked, and there have been no time that Miko opportunity have come for her to serve or to do anything, and we have stopped her or stepped on her not to do it. She have always functioned when she was called to perform. She performed to the fullest. I have not been many times. Miko have gone to places and represented me in functions and in other places. So I don't know if there's a specific instance that you want to probably talk about. You can go ahead and talk about it, but there have been no time that Miko have been, pushed aside.
I said, hosted a general meeting for this community in your absence. I'm not talking about the work she's doing.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why she should host it in my absence. Now I have a meeting coming up shortly on the 18th. I can stay behind and let me
Because
go host it. That's what you mean. But our meeting time is always scheduled, and so most often and 100% of the time when meetings are scheduled, I'm here. Now, this is how our meeting works, Mr. Silly. We have an executive meeting first, and we decide on the agenda. And then from there, we decide when the meeting should be held. And so those meetings are held. Some of those meetings are held in my absence. Miko come up with the agenda and she set the date for those meetings, sometimes in my absence. And when I come in, I go and she tells me, Mr. President, this is the meeting time and this is the agenda. I say, oh, thank you very much. So she has been working. And, look, Miko is somebody who loves to do her job, probably maybe quietly. She's not one of those who will jump all over the place to show off, but she's a very, very hardworking woman. I must tell you, and she has been one of the best vice president ever in this community. Again, I will told my home on home. So, Miko, I will miss her a whole lot.
no, you are at liberty to toot that particular home because Miko is outstanding vice president. I will allow you to. Matter of fact, if you want to parade her work, you can go ahead and do that. She did absolutely great. To hope to keep you up, Mr. President, in this community because that was a very good pick for you. Mr. Logan, you can take it from there.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Justice Junior. So we'll go to our brother Jeremiah Chia. Then you can chip in with the two questions. So if you have questions, those are following, you can also ask a question. We have one question. Somebody asking here. People, Jeremiah coming. Somebody asking you here. The question is this, Mr. President. The person said, Mr. President, what is a legacy you're leaving behind in this community as incoming former president of LAII?
I don't know what our leaders usually say, my legacy. I think people say this is your legacy, but I can tell you some of the achievement, that this administration have, what we have achieved. And so legacy is something that will be judged by history and not by us. I think, first of all, I will say we have a very stable financial community or our association financially is stable for the very first time in many, many years that our books are still balanced. And I am proud of that because I have lived in this community for a while and I know most government will leave our coffers with $0. And so we are happy that at least, the last government, this government, they have kept that financial, track going and something that we have maintained. The 501c3 was something that we lost for many, many years. We came back, we were able to resuscitate that. For many, many years, we're using living rooms, churches, and other places to host our meeting. Our meals and our address were at people's homes. This is something that we said was not right. When we took over, the first thing we did was for LAI to have our own home. Today, we have a space that we can have our meetings. If we have executive meetings, we have a conference room that we can use. We have a general meeting. We have an auditorium that we can use. We have an office space that we can use, and we also have a mailbox that our mails can go to. And so I think the community is growing. And so as we grow, we should continue to think, ahead and continue to compare ourselves with other communities and not just being in that little cocoon that we have been in for many, many years. And so those are some of the things we have done. And I think since we took over, the membership of the association have grown a little bit. We have had most of our programs have been successful, probably because the way we advertise it or maybe the way it's organized. And so there are just some things probably we have done unconsciously or subconsciously that we may not remember, but history will judge us from that. But those are just some of the factors. And again, I was told my home, this administration is one of the few administrations in the last, probably decades that had a government that had, stuck together until, to the end, almost to the end. So in the beginning, right after the inaugural ball, and all of the, pageantry, the president is left standing alone, and he will run that government from the end of that ball to his term, to the end of his term. And so, but this administration have continuously uh, hold together. We have continued to provide leadership for the community and also provide leadership for the people that work with us. So we are proud that at least we'll be going out with a full government that have remained intact. And so because of that, I think the community have built that trust in us, and we just hope that those who are volunteering right now to come and serve will, emulate those good examples from us.
All right, thank you. While Jeremiah Chi having a little technical glitch there, I'll ask you the next question come from Damawa Soso. So Damawa asking you this question to say, when you guys going to add me to the messenger chat? What's the process of adding people to the messenger chat?
First of all, Damawa, if you are a registered member of the association, you already pay your dues, fine. It's easy. Just um, text us or call us, and you can call the VP. She can add you, or you can call me. I can add you. As long as you are registered and pay your dues, you welcome to go.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. So you out there, you know how to be added to the Liberian community chat room, pay your dues, and register. So can you care to tell how much is the dues and how much is the registration fee for those just moving in the community?
Yeah, people like Mr. Chi, I don't know whether he registered. Registration fee is, I think, I just kidding, Mr. Chi. And so registration fee is $10, and our due is $5 a month. So I think the total is something like $60 a year, beside the registration, something like that. So now, the previously people used to register every month, but we said, look, if you don't have to register every year, you don't have to register every year. So if you register one time under this administration, that $10 will serve for the next 3 years. So you don't have to pay $10 every year to register plus your $60. So registration under this administration was one time. So you pay us $10 one time, and then you pay your $5 monthly, until the end of the year, whatever, however you wanted to pay. I know some people pay in lump sum, and so that was a good thing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. So the Vice President is following this show as well. She just commented that she will IU. Just contact her ASAP. All right, Mr. Jeremiah Sele. Mr. Jeremiah Chi, we're up to you.
Mr. President,
Mr.
my
Tony
question
Gilbert, you
has
can
to
just hold on just a second. Mr.
my
Tony Gilbert, just
my
hold on just a second. We'll get back to you. 30 minutes to the end of the show, we'll be expecting calls. Go ahead.
my question has to do with Mr. President. What do you say to your critics, skeptics, cynics that think that you are good on the explanation point of view of your deliverables than the actuality? What is to lead? Looking at what they've been through for the past 3 years in the community.
You done? I know
Yeah.
you are breaking in there. You say what I.
Um, what do you care to say to your naysayers, your people who doubt your abilities to lead? And I've been saying that you are preferably good on talking to people on a regular basis and explaining your platforms other than your deliverables. What do you say to these skeptics?
Well, everything that I've said here is something that can be checked out. When I say we have an office space, I mean, you can't say it's abstract. It's something that we have an address, 55 South, Senate Street or Senate Avenue. You can check it out. We have it. Besides that, your expenditure, your monthly expenditure will show that you pay rent for somewhere. And not only that, we have programs there. We have meetings there. So there is no fake about that. When we say we have a 501c3 or whatever, it's no fake about that. The documentations are there. So when people say we're good at saying it and not in actuality, I just don't understand what it means. Because everything that we say we have, done or achieved in the last, few months or year, those are things that can be checked out. So again, there will always be naysayers, there will always be critics, and I think we are tough enough um, uh, for those criticism that when it comes about. And I always tell people, look, I one of those. I love people. I love to talk to people and all of that. But when it comes to the community matter, I treat it differently. You can be my best friend, you can be my buddy, but when I have to do with the community, I have to do what is right. And so I think I have lost favor with a lot of my colleagues because of the community. Look, people will come and give you personal advices. Some people will give you advices, but when those advices come, sometimes I sit and sift through what I think is best for the community. I do what I think is best. And so I have led this community with my conscience, and I will leave this community with my conscience. And I think that's the best way. And a leader, supposed to lead with a conscience.
Okay, Mr. President, is the follow-up question to that. What do you also say about people making statements about your alignment to a particular candidate, as well as some also accused you of you care to comment on the 501c being used for your personal aggrandizement?
Okay. All right. Look, I don't like to speculate on hearsay, but when it comes to my character, I have to sometimes make clarification. Um, Look, we have the 501c3. I don't even control it. This administration made a very decisive decision from the beginning. When our 501c3 came in, I called the vice president, I called the administration. I said, look, Liberians in this community fought to get this 501c3 in the past. We lost it. I said, under this administration, we will not lose this, we will not lose this 501c3. So because of that, the board was informed that look, we want to put this 501c3 in somebody's hands who is not an executive of the association. That person will be responsible. If I, Rufus Tartee, have to use the 501c3, I will have to write to the secretary requesting that I want an ENI number, and that letter will be taken to whoever the custodian of that 501c3 is to verify that yeah, Rufus Tartee said he spent $1,000 on behalf of the association, and so he's using the 501c3. But I must tell you right now, and in all fairness, in all sincerity, for the last 2.5 years since we had our 501c3, I have never used it. And now that I can't use it, I have used gasoline on my own to travel for the association. I have paid my due. My due is tax deductible. I can do it. Uh, but no, I have not used it. And so I just want to tell you, look, not because we have it, we abuse it. Maybe in the past they have been done, but those are things again. Those are facts that can be checked on. So I may say it, and people will say probably no, that's not true. By the end of the day, those are things that can be verified. And when it comes to look, this election and the matter, look, there's you being around. You know what propaganda is. When people want to know where you are, the first thing they attack you. Oh, they may are supporting Jesus, so they don't mind you. All that things that do that, so they supporting, you know. And these are all propaganda. I've heard a whole lot of things. I was accused that I was I found, a secretary general for one of the candidates. I'm supporting this candidate, and I've just made it clear on this live feed. Well, we all live in this community. I have said, and I will say it again, all of the candidates that are running, they are farm people. I think we got people that are qualified that can succeed us. But as long as I do not have anybody from my administration that is attached to any of these candidates, I am not going to endorse any of these candidates. I will remain neutral until the elections come. And even after the elections, when we are asked to serve, we will be willing to serve. Until then, we remain neutral. So people will say whatever they want to say, who are with, who are not with. But look, like I said, my conscience is my conscience. And uh, look, I want to see a better community. I want to see a united community. And so if I want to see a united community and I, as the president, start to take side right now, first of all, as neutral as I want to be, I'm already being accused that, the election commission, I'm temporary election commissioners and all of that. So imagine if I take side. So every time,
Now,
when election matters come up,
quickly, quickly on the scene matter, Mr. President. If elections were held this evening, Mr. Parker and Mr. Logan, who will you choose? Who will you vote for? Who will you cast your ballot for?
You mean right now?
He said he's neutral. He already
No,
made
no, no,
that
no.
point.
I can answer that question
Right
right
now.
now.
Right now.
If election were held
If
right now,
elections were
I will
held
not
right
even
now
vote.
this evening.
I will not even vote.
I need an answer.
You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because Paco has not told me what he can do. Loki has not told me what he can do. I'm not going to vote for you because I like you. I'm not going to vote for you because you have some, silly. No. I'm going to vote for you because of the platform and because what you think you can do for the community. And I think, look, that's how elections are,
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
I think on this open forum, maybe you shy away with the backlashes and the shenanigans. But however,
no,
we understand that
let
if
me be very
elections were held,
frank.
we understand that if elections were held this evening or even tomorrow, you already peruse the candidates that are in the race, and you should be tentatively opposingly with another side or some side out of the two. There can be no way around this because these
there can be a way around it, Mr. Chair. There can be a way around it. Politics is like water, right? It doesn't have one shape. Now, if for one, for argument's sake, what you are saying it is true, right? And so the candidate that I'm laying towards, according to you, or you guessing, and that candidate comes to a platform that it's not good for the community. You think I want to put my community in the hands of somebody just because?
So what you saying, Mr. President? Basically, you are telling us that once there's a platform given by out of the candidates, and it suits your imaginary your thoughts and your means of delivering, you will go there.
Yeah, based on that one, I will cast my secret ballot, and my anonymity will continue to exist. But based on that, I will cast my secret ballot.
We wouldn't see you wearing camping t-shirts.
Oh no. You wouldn't see me at camping rallies.
Go ahead,
to Jeremiah real quick, just a little buttress. When last has you spoke to Mr. Parker and Logan?
I spoke to Mr. Parker. Our conversation was personal. I don't think I can't remember, probably a month or two. Can't remember.
Okay. When last you spoke to Logan?
Logan, I spoke to Logan probably about the same time.
No, Saturday.
We are about.
They're gone.
No,
but when you say speak to them, when this gone Saturday speaking to Logan was not the way I wanted. I spoke to him in the past. I called him and I said I wanted to speak to him. Okay. And I called Parker. I said I wanted to speak to Parker.
All right. Go ahead, Logan.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. But I know if election is held today and this person that I'm about to put a picture is in the race, whether you see platform or not, you're going to vote for this person. I can rest assured you, Mr. President.
Definitely.
Begin, you want to put me in trouble tonight?
Okay, Mr. President, I know Jeremiah Chie and Mr. Joseph Slay, they will be boxing you out when it comes to the election. But for me, I will not dwell into elections too much because I know I am into this election come November. So I don't want to deal with election matter too much. But my question to you tonight, Mr. President, on September 4th, 2022, if my information is right, will be your last August 24th celebration as president of this organization.
Yeah.
So, as president, currently, which kind of July 24th celebration do you wish to see as your last celebration? Will we see you dancing the David dance or the Solomon dance, or what kind of dance we want to see you doing as your last July 24th celebration? And what are those modalities are you putting in place to have the community come together to see you dance for the last time on July 24th as president of this noble community?
So July 24th, August 24th?
September 4th. That will be the August 24th celebration.
Yeah, September 4th. Oh, September 4th, it's going to be an outdoor program, a park program. We want to have the kids. And, usually the kids really enjoy you. And sometimes you're there too with all that Liberian flags going around with them. This is the same festivity we want to see. Look, Rufus Tartee will always be Rufus Tartee. I'll come there. We will all interact, we mingle, we'll chit chat here and there, whether it will be on national issues or maybe on domestic issue. We'll do all of these things. We just want to see a happy community. As well, this program is usually for the kids. And this is why we encourage, the parents to really bring the kids out. Because most of the time, we have all these July 26th, it's all about adults, from Friday all the way to that Sunday. So August 24th, usually we like to have the kids involved and participate. But look, I'm always happy and I will continue to be happy. That one thing that keeps me going. I'm not a guy who can stress. I'm not somebody who is easily moved, whether by criticism or by, hearsay and all of that. So we'll continue to be the same guy we are. And but we look forward to seeing all of you. I think there are a lot of good things that are going to be there for the kids. The playground will be made available for us. The youth and sports will be there doing some youth program with the kids. They're going to full sale. They're going to be full sale there, so there will be a lot of food for us to buy and eat. The hot dog will be free for the kids. I know water and things probably will be all free. So we look forward to seeing the community there. Winter is almost here, so please come and let's enjoy ourselves.
All
come
right,
and enjoy with your president.
Thank you. So we will take one more question from Mr. Joseph Sele Jr. We'll take one question from Mr. Jeremiah Chie. Then we'll go to the phone. We'll go to the phone line. So, Mr. Sele, it's up to you.
Mr. President, it's important that we made known that your wife, the First Lady, she worked hard for your administration. It is true that behind every great man is a great woman. However, she's not, I don't know if she's an appointed member of the administration. I mean, by association, she is a bona fide member because you are the president, she's the First Lady. And she's been out there. What do you say to people that have concern that if they say your wife is pushing the agenda of a certain candidate, even though you, Mr. President, decide to remain neutral? Is your neutrality also the same as that of your wife? And if so, what do you say to people that are saying that she's in support of a particular candidate in these elections? And a follow-up on that, you have done well, and you have some failure as well along the line. There's some failure along the line. So how important is it for you to protect critical voices in these elections as well? That's an A and B question.
Look, my wife is as passionate about the community just how I am passionate about the community. I think before even deciding to run, when people came here to talk to us, I didn't want to do it at first, and she said, "No, let's do it." I think I'm ready for us to serve this community, and because of that passion, I think this is why she was driven to be so much involved. If you check, most of our the Orthodox program that we had, for example, Veteran Day, this Christmas thing for the kids these days, Palawa Hut versus, LAII, these are programs that she has been spearheading, and I think she has done a very great job. Now, when it comes to her political, view, look, you can have a Republican living in the house, you see a Democrat living in the house. My wife, as an individual, she have her likes and she have her dislike. Now, I can speak for myself as an individual. I cannot stifle my wife, political view. She's an educated woman. She's at liberty to make decision for herself. So I don't know who she supports. Again, that would be a question for her. But as far as I'm concerned, my wife has not told me that this is the candidate I'm supporting. Again, these are all speculation, which is a good thing. It's good to speculate, So, but I think she has the right, to choose whoever she wants to vote for. Now, when you talk about
From one.
you say what?
Even though the Bible said the two shall become one.
My man, when they say the two shall be one, you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what.
Okay.
I'm single, so go ahead to the next one.
All right. Yeah, you talk about failures and critical voices. Look, you know me, and I'm one of those who probably one of the leaders. Probably again, you know, I always told my own home. I think I'm tolerant when it comes to critical voices. What sometimes if you talk to me as a person, Rufus Tartee, you this, you that. Look, you elected me to use me as, you know, punching bags. Fine, I agree. You can punch me whatever way you want to punch me. Now, where I usually do not sit and allow people to go is, you know, going from me to other people who also have come, you know, to volunteer to serve the community. That's when, you know, I come in to say, hey, no, you just crossing the line. Deal with me. I'm the president. Everything goes wrong here. The failure is mine. The success is mine. And so deal with me. But when you start going to against, you know, people or dealing with people beside me, then that when, you know, we have to draw that line. And sometimes when that line is drawn, the only one power we have. The only power we don't have a military, you know, a police, you know, to say go arrest a man. So the only arrest I can do, I cut you off from the chat room. That's the only power we have. And again, it's not something that we're happy to do. But when we continue to attack and we say, hey, look, you need to stop, leave this person alone. You know, you have made your point. We hear it, and you keep coming back and forth and back and forth. You know, or maybe people lying on people. You know. I saw somebody telling me today that, you know, I told Paco that the men's group are going to do this and do. I mean, you know, and then you see these things coming from the guys you call your friends and the people who you think they are responsible, who probably, even if they heard something like that, but Rufus, you know, but man, this is why you said, you know, at least in a joking form or something. No, but you go ahead and when you make this kind of statement, you know, then I have to come back now and say, you know what, this person is going too far. You know, because all of us here, our character is what we live by. You know, we all got two names. You got a family name, but you got your own name as well. You know, when you necessarily do something, they're not going to say that it's sin, they will say the dream, you know. So again, my wife has the right to choose who she wants to choose. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think she have making a decision yet. If she had done it, then she has not told me. God bless the candidate that she's supporting them.
Okay. All right. Mr. Logan.
Mr. Jeremiah Chair, ask your question, then we'll go to the phone lines.
Before we go to the phone lines, Mr. President, you spoke well on all the issues at hand. Before we take leave of you to go to the lines, we understand every leader will go through an era wherein there will be mendacious allegations against them. And do you take criticism as a plus or as a minus? 2, what would be your greatest achievement as a president of this community going forward and your weaknesses? Thank you.
My greatest achievement, my tolerance. I tolerate a lot of things that probably I know a lot of people couldn't have. So my tolerance is my achievement. My weakness, well, you know, uh, I will attribute it to the to the point that I was not able to achieve what I wanted to achieve. We wanted to make sure not only having an office, but we wanted to see how we could purchase um, a hall for the LAI. Again, that was something that I wanted to do. And so those are some of our weaknesses and failures. We wanted to see if we could have conducted a sensor for the community. We were not able to do that. So I'm leaving office, even though there will be a lot of things that we think we have done. But again, like I said, we cannot count on our legacy. History will judge us for that. But I'm leaving. Miko and I will be leaving office with a lot of disappointment for things that we think we were not able to achieve. But notwithstanding the new administration, we will try to talk with them and see if some of these things they can continue on those legacy.
Was it due to budget shortfall that caused you not to achieve your goals?
No,
especially in
it was just because of the COVID. Housing price went up. There was a lockdown, and there were just so many things. So by the time the COVID started easing and all of that, it was almost time. And being fiscally, responsible. I mean, we just feel that while we have 6 months ago now, you want to start going to look for how to buy when you want to all the money from the bank to go. You all the new administration will start with, right? So we just
So
say,
it was
look,
all synonymous to the current crisis the world faces.
yeah, the COVID. The COVID.
Thank you. Philip, you on mute.
All right, sorry for that. Mr. Jan Pulula on the line. He just left the line, so we will take question from online, and we will wait for the call again. I have Mr. Jan Pulula, Mr. Tony Givlog, and Mr. Maurice Gould. They've been calling as well, but I told them to wait. The president was in flight. So there's this question coming from the Grand Bassa Association president, the Indiana chapter. So his question is this. He said, good afternoon, great people. On the Logan's Hour, President Tartee, will you be a full participant and stakeholder after your leadership expire? What role will you play as a former president or executive of LAII?
Yeah, thank you very much, Riggs. Yes, we look what we have built. We're not going to sit by and allow it to be destroyed. And again, not only me, but I encourage every, men, young, old, women, young, old in this community. Our community has suffered a whole lot, my people, especially when it comes to governance. I will make sure that we'll work with our partners, we'll work with everybody in this community to make sure that we give our fullest support to the incoming government. Because most of the time they feel like the government is because the community desires them. First of all, the desire come from within, and then later on the community desires them. But we will work with anything that they think that we can do to enhance their work. I will be willing. My wife will be willing. Former official of my government who will be around and you want them to help, you can reach out to me. I will be able to talk to them. They can come to help. We're not going to allow this community to break down again. So any position or anything they want us to do, we'll be able to do it.
Okay, Mr. President, I got Mr. Tony Givler on the line. Hello, Mr. Givler. Go ahead.
Yes, he's still talking.
Yeah, go ahead. The president is done.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to lower your monitor in the back, or you can turn it off to be able to hear the president.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are.
All right. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, gentlemen.
You can hear him?
Good evening, Mr. Gibson.
Okay, yeah. They can hear you.
Thank you for allowing me on the show tonight. If I was to grade President Tartee, I would have given him 75. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, I will give him 75. There are a lot of things that he said that are not correct, but I'm not going to dwell on that. Two things I want to ask about the electoral process. Okay, I understand from the time Diane resigned, is the willing of the community not to fast forward to step up. But since Diane resigned, we always went to meeting and we wrote. How did he populate a tab rating or attendance? Okay, that's one. Two, the whole process of the election, we are in total violation. So for Tartee to come out and the election commission to say that we suppress voters for campaigning early, I think he has to step up with that to let the election commission to redo that they should not suppress anybody from the election. So there are a lot of things we bring on. The third is, Mr. Logan, you as a perceived candidate, to become a host of shows in the electoral matter, I think I have a problem with that. I would rather someone be in there than you, because it's like you are trying to fish out your strategy from the host or the appearance, those that appear on the show. So I would rather the next time, if it is in the electoral matter, you stay all of the room and if you have a co-host to host it, then you.
Well taken. Well taken. So, Mr. President, what I will advise that can you please record those questions, because I have other people.
He was breaking in. I think that was assigning his background, so I can't. He
asked 3 questions. He asked you the first question about the attendance being recorded by
Tab rating.
tape rating. Then his second question is he said you go ahead, Jose.
First question was tab rating. Why you submitted tab rating attendance record? Second, the suppression of votes by the EC. Why you allowed them, because they are already in violation of the Constitution, which is supposed to open the process by 6 months to election. Why are they trying to suppress voters now? And the third one was for Logan. Rare enough for you. He said Logan shouldn't be moderating election matters. So that's the two. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gavler. So we have Mr. Jan Volule is coming on right now. So Mr. Volule has his question. Then we'll go to Mr. Morris Gore. Go ahead, Mr. Jan Volule.
Hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes. Thanks to the co-host and the president in studio. Mr. President, I want to say thank you for your deliberation tonight. Even though a lot of things that you are saying I disagree with, but that we'll save it for another time. Just to make it clear to the community, did I turn over a tape rating attendance to you? That's my first question. And my second question would go to the 501c3 that you talked about. The 501c3, you stated that you placed the 501c3 in the hands of non-executive member, not even the board. You didn't mention the board. So, whose decision was that, to place the 501c3 that we have struggled for the number of years to get back or to restore? Whose decision was that to place it in the hands of a non-executive members of this organization? Because as far as I'm concerned, the General Assembly had a higher decision making on such things, especially that important document that we know how important it is. We have struggled for a length of time just to restore it when we lost it the first time. What decision was that? That's my second question. My third question will go to I'm speaking as an insider of this administration, of your administration. Even though I resigned from my post as a secretary, but I'm still
a member
of the administration.
So you former.
I know every meeting that we attend, there are 3 individuals that own in the electoral process right now that did not attend one meeting. And today, the document that you presented to election commission, those people's names have appeared on those attendance lists. How can you explain to the community how those people's names appear on the attendance list on those attendance lists? Because since you and I took over 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, those people did not attend one meeting under your administration. You and I know, I'm speaking now as a former secretary of this community, and I'm also speaking as an insider of this administration. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jan Vodulai. Then I'm going to take one more call. But before I take that call, let me just ask this question that coming in from Mr. Richard Boya, who is the Secretary General of the United Basa Association, the Indiana chapter. His question is, since the election that you got into power, have you visited any of the nearby cities that you did reach out to for their votes in the name of Fascia, Southern, and Nobleville? That's a question. You can just record that, please, Mr. President. So let me take the last call, then we'll go back to go back to the studio guests and the panelists. What's that last call? Let me take this last person right here. Let me make sure he's on because he's been calling back to back. All right, if this person, okay, go ahead, Carter. Go ahead.
I already asked my question on the comment read that we did. So the president it, and we leave out during a campaign, or we can better explain the history of what he did. But let me just do a follow-up question pertaining to your statement and pertaining to the attendance listing. I just asked the person a question pertaining the listing of individual names on attendance. The same young man did the same thing last election before Mr. Tartee won. So, Mr. Tartee, you said something, you said something general like your tolerance as a leader. As a leader, I don't know why you try to say that your tolerance is an achievement that you can live in a community, or people can, say, oh yeah, this is why the president tolerates this. That. So why was that tolerance make the community a great community? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morris G. Consistent Gore. So I'll go back to studio. Mr. President, it's up to you.
All right, I will start with Morris. You got here, so now plenty. Now, I said I don't know whether you following the show, but when we spoke about tolerance, our chair have asked the question: what were your weaknesses and what were your successes? So I was saying, look, I think one of my success, when it comes to leadership, is my tolerance. As an individual, my success is, I can attribute my tolerance to a success. Now, weaknesses, we talk about things that we are not able to achieve, and it's because of, and we give reasons why we are not able to give reasons. So this is not something that you're going to use as a yardstick to tell us what our legacy was, and our legacy was done. All right, so look, let me go back to Nyan. And Nyan come back to ask me, why is there somebody name is on the list, and and that person did not attend meeting? They have to be asking Nyan, how can somebody name be on that list and they did not attend meeting? That's my question. Will go back to Nyan, and I think in all sincerity, Nyan should be able to answer that. But look, I have not seen the list. The Election Commission does not report to me. It is our responsibility to turn over. Like I said, we bought computer for the association. You telling me say because we got computer, so we can't type again? We typed the list and we gave you the hard copies. So the list is there, plus the hard copy. What else you want us to do? So you compare the hard copy. Now, the election time, probably the various candidates, they will want to set up a committee that will go to peruse this document or to check. You can go ahead and do it. But when it comes to the election issues, I really don't want to dive in it because I don't have control of the election commissioner. You can't say the association has a computer and we can't type. So the next time we're to give you minutes, would you give you the minutes in here written minutes? No. So we gave you the hard copies, and then we type the type copy we gave it to you. So all you need to do, take the list and say, okay, January 4th meetings date. The type copy, John Brown number 1. Then you look on the hard copy, John Brown number 1. It's easy. So look, during the electoral process, when everything is said and done, the candidates are qualified, you want to go back to go check this document, you can go and check. I don't know what he's talking about. I have not seen it, and so I can't comment on it. He did not call the name of the person. Like he said, he was the secretary. So if that particular meeting date, if you're the one who took the record and that person's name is not on the list, then, of course, Nyan should be able to, answer that question. I never took attendance down, and so I don't know who name was on the list and who name is not on the list. He have seen the list. I have not seen the list. So it will be something that probably, if we go to a meeting, we can discuss it. Or when the candidates come together, you can select a committee that will go out there to find out.
To stop you over there, to eject, like you as a president, you are saying on this platform that the list that was submitted to the EC, you haven't seen it.
The list is talking about what people names on there. I have not seen the names that are submitted. It was legitimate names that we took down. Now, if he's saying he's the secretary, former secretary, and telling me that their names are on it, there were people who did not attend the meeting. I don't know. I have not seen that list he's talking about. But every list that were in our custody, we turned everything over. So if he sees anything differently, I have not seen the difference he has seen. So I don't know what he's talking about right now. All right. So like I said, as time goes by, those are things that are easy to verify. It's easy. So it's not anything, to say you type the list and you get computer. Why you can't type the list? Okay. Why the meetings can be typed? So he's talking about the 501c3. Now when you elect a man, you give him a piece of responsibility. You are part of this administration. You handle a lot of documents for this administration. I don't think there was any point in time that I personally encouraged you or maybe told you to do anything substitutiously with any documents. When it comes to the 501c, it was the responsibility of the president to protect it. Like I protect your finances, I protect the documentation and the office of this association. I had a responsibility to protect the 501c. One of the major things with this 501c and the reason why we keep losing it is because we don't file as an association. So we get a 501c3, we got it LAII now. We're not using it, even though they say are using it, and they will prove that when the time comes. We're not using it. So because of that, we're not filing. And after a certain time, if you don't file, the state will definitely revoke it. So what we did, I didn't tell you, say I gave it to I didn't give it to an executive official. I didn't say I gave it to somebody outside of the community. No, it's with somebody within the community. And yeah, if you want to file tax today, you'll know who got it. If you want to use the 501c3, bring your contribution and file your tax, you'll know who have it. And so that's
to stop you.
Listen, let me finish. And so as a president, we gave it to that individual and say, hey, look, you know about taxes and you part of the community. This is what happening to us. We have been losing our 501c because we are not been filing taxes. Can you please keep it for us and make sure every year you file a tax? If we need to use it, we'll let you know. And he said yes. And so at least we have been able to file taxes in the last 2 years using the 501c3. Okay.
So yeah, my question though was why you didn't inform the community. Matter of fact, you say you are in charge of our finances and other things, and then
I have not seen any problem with the 501c that I have to go to the community to say, when I got it, I told the community I got it. That was it. The community have never come to use it, and there's a problem using it. So why should I go tell you, say, oh, this year I filed? I mean, I don't see the logic in it, and I don't know what he's driving at. I just don't understand what he's driving at.
Okay, he's driving at the point that we have the community and we have the board. Why you didn't do that? Why you didn't give that to the board for the board to look for the person that will do that? We have the board that is responsible to audit you, so the board is very crucial in making such decisions, don't you think?
I think we should recommend to the board so the board can audit us on that. I would like to see that. I'll recommend to the board so the board can audit us on that. All right. Then you also talk about what was it?
You got to go to Mr. Gifler's point.
Gifler? I think I already answered. Did I answer Gifler? Gifler said attendance type. The same thing, attendance type. You give me a computer, I must type for you. So what is the problem with the attendance type? You got a type one, you got a one that is rating. So I don't see the whole thing about typing attendance. Then it's a suppression of voter. I can't speak to that. The voters will speak to that. If you are being suppressed, like I said, we're having our next meeting will be on the 18th. Come to that meeting. The election commissioners will be there. Let us know. Let the election commissioners know. Let the examiner know what your takes are on those laws that were made. If there's something that we can address, that we'll be able to address it. So
okay. I think you practically tackle all the issues that were asked, and I would like to make a response.
I don't think Richard, I've not done Richard. Richard asked where have I visited.
Yeah, go ahead with Mr. Bogan.
All right, Richard. Firstly, this is the very first election that we didn't really go far off to campaign. I think the longest distance went was Nobleville. I have been Nobleville. Went there to tell some of our people thank you after the elections. We went there. The vice president had also been in Nobleville before, to talk to people there. And so those are the only communities besides South Side and West Side. We were not able to go to South Bend. We didn't campaign in South Bend. I don't know if other candidates did. We didn't go to Fort Wayne. So Nobleville was the only place we went. And I think since then we have been in Nobleville.
Okay. I think I would like to respond to this question also asked by Mr. Gifler. Mr. Gifler, you spoke about Mr. Logan being a host of his show while he's running in these elections. I think, to be fair and honest with you, this show was launched months ago, far before the election hearing process even started. I think it's his right. It's within his right to host a show. Mr. Gifler, I think you have a phone in your hand. If you know about the technicalities of them, you can also launch your own software and topic, and you start to host your own show. I don't think you should disenfranchise him from using his platform simply because he's a presidential candidate.
No,
Other ways,
Mr. Jeremiah, I take exception to that. I take exception to that.
I will agree about your assertion you take into it, but other ways, we are talking about voter suppression. And if you are telling somebody that they can't speak on their own show, on their own telephone, simply because they are in electioneering process, I think there's a disservice to the host. All Mr. Gibler has to do is to go on another show or start his show and see as to whether he can galvanize support and resources for people to follow him. I don't think, okay, Mr. Gibler, I think if I want to do a rental of limousines, if I decide to come to you, I think you will accept me. If I decide to go to another person, they will also accept me. It's my preference. If he's bringing a president here, the president could fumble on his achievement and it could sway voters or people who believe in his legacy away from him, and wherever he wants to align himself, they might turn away. But if you are telling Mr. Logan that he cannot host his own show because of these processes, I think it's wrong. That's my view. I think it's wrong. He can host a show. I didn't give him a period.
Okay, just go ahead. Then if you not get Mr. Jan Polula, he said he want to make some clarity shortly.
Okay, big exception to that. The fact of the matter is, this is Logan.
Just hold on. After Joseph. Go ahead, Joseph.
And people are aware that this show belongs to Logan. However, Logan is a candidate in this process. I don't think it's any means of suppression of his voice on his own show. Sometimes you rescue yourself from certain topic or whatsoever. For the most part, Mr. Logan has been doing that on the show. I mean, I don't think he has been diving into most of the election questions. I mean, when Tartee, Mr. Tartee, President Tartee decided for us to have this discussion, and he decided for us to have this show. That's what the reason why Mr. Tartee asked me to come on. That's the reason why Tartee asked me to come on board to help to bring some neutrality to this discussion. And for the most part, I think Mr. Logan really he has this step aside for the most part for the election process, even though it must seem
Mr. Silly, your points are understood, but this is democracy. We are. I don't have anything personal in this issue, like my sister Fatty said on the chat. But the thing is simple. This is electioneering process. This brother had his show running long before this time, and because of this time, everyone can be your guest. I think you're one of the critical voices in the community. If Mr. Sele can be a co-host on this show, that shows you. And we don't want to run a show where everything will be yes sir, and yes man. That's not pleasant to the listeners. If we can't have divergence of views, then what's the essence of even having a conversation? Because we cannot agree all along. And besides, from the standpoint of this show, I'm not a supporter of either of the candidates. As Mr. I'm a new Joe, right, whatever. But from the perspective of truth, I think from the perspective of truth, I think it's only fair that we be given the time to talk, because other people. What if the other day Mr. Logan's wife was on open table? That wasn't an issue. Her husband is running in these processes. There weren't comments from Mr. Gibler concerning that. So we don't want to. This is we should be fluent and fully fledged and well versed in how we can communicate our opinions to people who listen.
Mr. Jeremiah, Mr. Logan, we were on open table, knowing fully well that everybody on that table, nobody is running for anything position whatsoever. There's no candidate on open table. I'm not taking part in these elections. Mr. XYZ is not taking part.
Okay. All right, Jeremiah. Let's not.
I think in the long run, Mr. Logan, I think you should take that into consideration when having some of these shows that you make do. I mean, especially a day was not going to take care of it. So,
yeah, that's true. Thank you so much. So I have two people. You ain't gotta mute your phone later too. So I have two people on the line at the same time. So I will just give the line to Mr. Jeremiah. Jeremiah, select first, then you can come in.
Hi. Hello?
Yeah, Jeremiah, hold on. Jan on the line first. After Jan will be you. Go ahead, Jan.
Okay. Thank you for
The
bringing
line is busting.
My line is busting?
No, I said go ahead. I got another person to call in. No, go ahead. You clear.
bringing me by. I just want to make some clarity. You know, the president taking the SNS issue very lightly, and you think it's a joke to temper with classified documents like that, especially during those times, during this
Man, yeah, you wait, man. Classified document. Yeah, man. You can't waste our time on that. You got other people to take care.
No, President, it's classified document.
They should ask me. The document that you submitted.
Look, I am a responsible. Let me just let y'all know. I'm not as reckless as some people are. I am responsible. This is why you elected me. I serve this community through. And not somebody who came and worked halfway through and left the stage. Then you're talking about classified documents. I'm not going to respond to y'all again.
Then I will tell you if those people are working them Bernie Alpha and Frank Tuba or ever attended that meeting. I will tell you because I recorded those attendance lists and know those people did not attend one meeting in under this administration.
Okay, thank you, Jan, for that. Go ahead, Mr. Jeremiah Silly.
Guys, how you guys doing?
We are doing good.
I'm enjoying the discourse and guys, I'm talking to our community in the background for our democracy. And
Can you speak a little bit?
Oh, a little more. Jeremiah, gotta speak a little more. We can hear you clear. Yeah.
I'm driving. Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, we hear you a little bit.
Jeremiah, leave from the jacuzzi. Leave from the jacuzzi.
Yeah, we.
Hear me now?
Okay, we can hear you. Just so you can hear you clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So as I said, I'm enjoying the discourse, and it's essential for our democracy. You know, sometimes people are critical, so you can be critical based on your own ideology. But I thought to make some clarity, and some of the clarity is the issue of the original document that the president spoke of. Guys, let's be clear on the record. Sometimes when the communication comes in the chat room, I just listen to my brother Jan. He's saying from his own perspective of our communication yesterday, clearly stated that we received full original documents. It was not 3. So I want to make that clarity first. Full handwritten documents at the same time was also tapped. And the reason we requested the handwritten document was the same issues of our concerns that made by residents and the assembly that look. The handwritten records we have, we want to match it up with the handwritten document so we can see that there is no problem in the process. That comparison has been done, and the EP is doing the job to clear it. However, be it delayed in the administration, but later on they adhere to our call. Secondly, the issue of voter registration, I want for us to dismiss that claim. That claim is not accepted in any way in our democracy. We are not suppressing anybody. But every institution has rules and regulations. The very same people who are saying today and complaining that the EC should do the best job are the same people that want to drive this community into Satan. That is, what do I mean by that? They are complaining when it is not in their favor. But at the same time, they have to be very careful that the law that will make a rules and regulation is to also protect the image of LAII. Now, I know specifically when we speak to that, we're speaking of the rules that say voters map. We use the English here. We say map, depending on the intensity of the case. But you know, most times I'm listening and people are in the future is unconstitutional, this is not Putin, this is not Russia. It's good to use those analogies. But let me tell you as well, the Constitution tells you method, it don't tell you process. There are differences between method and process. The Constitution tells you the method by which the EC should be set up, but not tell you the process by which the election should be governed. And we are doing with the process. The process takes a lot of steps. Now, if we see somebody is being disgruntled and going to hijack the process and attack people in that way, we will make rules and regulations to protect the other citizens that are normal, that are sober. So we are not doing it to suppress voters. We are doing it with the intent to protect the LAII, and we have to work in that to some extent with the association, but we cannot allow it to influence the process. So my brother, as much as we are all educated people and we're pushing fingers at all educated people that take the sense to lead this community, we should also be careful how we tear them apart. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you very much. I've been your easy this year. I thought to make it clarity. I want to tell Mr. Tartee thank you for being able to answer these questions as well. If you have anything or any complaint, you can make your platform available and easy can make further clarification. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jeremiah Sele. So
Uh,
before we okay, hold on,
Mr.
just a second,
Sele, Mr. Sele.
just a second. Before we
Yeah.
come back to you guys, I have a call coming from Ohio. Let's hear what the person have to say too. Hold on, just a second here. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, this is Joshua Powell. I'm calling from Ohio.
Go ahead.
Let me say thanks for allowing me on the show. I'm monitoring the show, and I'm forced to call in because of one of the caller who tried to attack the host of the Logan show. And I think that it's unfortunate that they would do that because the Logan show existed before your community election came about. And it is in no way trying to take the right away from Logan if you want to contest in this election. People have to know that we have our rights to do whatever we want to do regardless of our relationship and affiliation, with other institutions. So people should, open their minds and know how to attack people when it comes to these, activities. I also want to speak to. I've heard you guys was trying to drill the president, whether he would choose somebody or not. Joe Biden said leader words matter, and that means the president speak right now and say, "Lord, I support Joseph today." Everybody will want to support Joseph White because the president is formidable in Indiana. People look up to him, people respect him, and so any attempt the president will take a side, it will be a damage for the other campaign. So, I saw you guys try to drill the president, and he spoke very, very wisely, and I want to commend. I see you guys have a very good leader. He's been doing well, and leaving office at this time. We should all appreciate the president, and we look forward to the new leadership. I want to get through my point right there. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Mr. J. Joshua K. Powell Senior. So before we go in to take our studio panelists, we will take just a short commercial, and we'll be right back.
Hey, beautiful ladies of Indianapolis. Are you looking for a beauty place where you can buy all your latest human hairs and other beauty accessories? Look no more. The MD Beauty Salon, located at 3429 Kentucky Avenue, is just that right spot for all your beauty needs. At MD's, our customers' satisfaction is our foremost priority. Our staffs are friendly and accommodating. Contact us today on 317-360-2624. MD Beauty Salon, your one-stop shop for all your beauty needs. And hey, ladies, when you get there, tell Mariette that the girl is sexy.
Don't forget, this MD Beauty Salon, your own Liberian sister. Go and purchase. Come in, Mr. Jeremiah. Mr. Look at me, I say Jeremiah. Mr. Jeremiah Cheer. Then we go to Mr. Joseph Sele Jr.
Yeah, Mr. Logan, like I was saying, I stand by my statement because during these times, people would tend to spew gibberish, especially if they don't know your own alignment. But at the end of the day, peace should prevail. This is not a LAI run or government run radio station we own. This is a private platform. Despite you being called to serve, you didn't leave LAI as a resigned a person to join the process. You join the process from another angle. We understand that, and this is your platform. I believe if I'm eligible to run in these elections, nothing will stop me. I should be on time with my due payment. and I should register, and I should know how to do my campaign when the EC says so. So I just thought to speak a little bit on it, because we don't want today or tomorrow people look at us in a certain way because of our views. That's your platform, and we are called to discuss issue here. Our issue here doesn't reflect the views of you either. Because if we come on these shows and we just wholly and solely dwell on one issue and sway to another topic, and everything is yes, 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 I think it's not healthy for our discussions. My brother from Ohio spoke concerning it. He also runs a show. He's also an ex-official, an ex-president of the Ohio chapter of their own setup they have there as LAII. And I think he knows what he's talking to. So I think we are all in these times, but we should be very careful how to silence each other, because today or tomorrow it could be you. Maybe I might be speaking on another platform, and seriously, when the time is near and I want to run for something, and I don't want people to say, oh, because they man a politician or they man a panelist, so you'll be on this side. I can sit with you all day long. The other day on the platform, I was bashing the president when he wrote the congratulatory something there. But when he came here, drew his expose, he explained somewhat what he thought it could have been, and he laid some reasoning to it, because congratulations is just an open something. I believe that if the election commission in America decides to host the 2024 election, Joe Biden tell the commissioner, say congratulations, I believe it's a dissent. It's a partisan something. You remember when 2020 election was going on, when Mr. Trump decided that the UPS people, the people who carry the mail, the US mail, he decided to understaff them and do other things, and the people are doing mail-in ballot, all those kind of small things. It affected the election. So there are things that presidents can take, like Joshua said, could be positive or negative. So even in these processes, I will relate it to Kenya. The outgoing president of Kenya put the hands up of the opposition leader, Raila Odinga. He went to the election and he was defeated, according to the election commissioner, by the vice president. The president didn't put his own vice president. So in this instance, he can even put Paco's hand up. If they didn't want Paco, they want Paco. He can put Mr. Logan's hand up. If they didn't want him, they didn't want him. So we should be allowed to express ourselves during these times and make sure we say things in line with the.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chia. So let's go to Mr. Saleh. Then we come back to our president.
Well, first of all, Celine asked the question, why is LAII not LAII? It's still LAII. I think that question she asked, it is still LAII. I think when we're trying to, it's LAII. You should never put the initial into it's Liberian Social Indiana Incorporated. But somehow when we're changing the account, I think that's when the president will make it to be LAII on the account, and it reflects on the WhatsApp. However, I will go back to the commission. We are all in this country, and we all have differences of opinion, ideas, and how we view things. Some of us, we are not educated like others, or some of us, we are grandson of fishermen. So, but we have the opportunity to know words and what they mean, and how critically we can use them. Whenever you put might into a sentence, it creates a may or a possibility. When you put might be, the might create a possibility that it can happen. So, whatsoever they wrote, they create a possibility that they can suppress votes. The might and the sentence should be omitted. If you follow the Constitution, Article 10, again, of the Constitution of this, we're in a country of laws. Article 10 tells you what the election commission can do. They have bullet points. They can create debate. They can certify candidates. They can tell all where to go vote. They can do those elections. Their duties, they are there. When you walk outside your duties and try to create an atmosphere that you are going to lead, then you create a scene that will have two leadership in this community, and that we cannot have. The number one leadership in this community. Now, when we talk about disciplinary action for members, disciplinary action is in the Constitution as well. Go down to Article 11. It's there. You can discipline for paying bills. You can discipline for other things, but you cannot discipline an article for election process or campaigning early. Now, Mr. Tartee, right this where he can use his power. He use his power to apply. Mr. Tartee can remove people from the platform if people are going against the platform guidelines of which he, the president, created. So there's no way, in any way, form, or shape, that the EC should be creating or saying. They are not here to police the process. They are not here to tell what to do. They are here to go according to the constitution that was created. Now, when we speak to the president, we speak to the president because we want the president to protect his legacy, whatever legacy he has. And that's why I asked him about the constitution early on in the show, because the constitution is there to guide his thinking process. The constitution is there to guide him. And when things are going outside or contrary to this community, the constitution is there to tell him what to do. And Mr. Chair said, right, so if I was the president, I would step far away for everything election matters going forward in this community, because it creates an atmosphere that can taint your legacy. So, Mr. President, you did the job to appoint the EC, and the community accepted them. I will not speak to them, and we channel every communication to the board. It's not your work to protect them. The board now should be the one that protects them, because the board is the one that we carry complaint to. So that is it. And if you have the constitution, read, for yourself. It's there, Article 10, the duties of the commissions.
No, we're not, the constitutional issue here, we're not going to, I can come in, Philip?
Yeah, you can go ahead, Mr. President.
We're not going to go back and forth with that. Look, Mr. Sele, all I'm saying is, look, nobody's suppressing your rights. Your voter rights, that would be the least thing we do. And I would not say that for anybody's right to vote be suppressed. What I'm saying is our approaches to how we conduct ourselves when it comes to this issue. You flag an issue, that was great. But after flagging that issue, you know what follows next, right? Look, I think you guys have done a piece of job. The idea that, look, myself and my man have been waiting to see how, when the first information will come from the EC. And when I saw that, whether it was red, yellow, blue, or white, the first thing I did, I said, Lord, thank you, at least. Right? Look, I have more pressure on me than even the candidates that are running right now, because they don't care. Anything go wrong, they will say that the administration. It go right, that the administration. So right now, I got more pressure. So when the EC, even though I don't have control over them, but when they come up with these stipulations, I'm happy, because I know we're moving forward and they are doing something. That brings joy to me. The first time to even see the list of the candidates, I was happy and said, hey, look, congratulations, guys. But again, like, Mr. Chair said, that whole congratulatory thing was taking all the context, and we're addressed and all kind of things. But you have just made a point. The board is here. If anything we have, we go to the board. Now, there will be a meeting on the 18th. The LAII next executive meeting, general meeting will be on the 18th of September. We'll post a flyer today. And so I want you guys to come there with your complaints. Nya has a legitimate complaint. People name that he took. He was at that particular time, and he was there, and he didn't write the people name, but I name on the list. Then Nya comes there, or it will say, fine, when the candidates are finally, accepted by the EC, they can set up a committee to go through the listing and start checking about attendance. But look, let me just tell you one thing. Attendance, why we can't be so critical about the money business? And say, oh, the first thing is the person must be financially stable with them, with the association before. But attendance is something that we blowing out all the way. And I'm not downplaying the Constitution when it comes to anything, but just how the financial thing is important, it's the same way attendance is important. So if we say instead of you paying a 3-year, pay 1 year now, pay 6 months, everybody happy. But we say, oh, we deny you, Mr. Sele, because you didn't attend meeting. And people say, yeah, we'll deny them. But so what happened? One side of the Constitution can be favorable when it suits all of us, and the other side is not favorable when it doesn't suit us. Again, it's not my place, but I'm just saying, let's address this thing civilly. Let's go there. If people points can be proven, we all human beings. Look, we'll address it. And Mr. Chair, I know you just come in this community, but you see some of the things we're going through, right? For an elderly man like Gifler, who have been in the community for a long time, To come here and say because I'm feeling Logan show, you're not supposed to be. Imagine if I call it ball. Saleh having his political rally, and I just step around there. There was a Rufus Tartee going there to go support Saleh. So you see where we find ourselves. We find ourselves in a community that even people who we think supposed to be thinking logically, making sure that look, this is just a show, They many come here to say green sympathy. This coming Saturday, Philip Logan, by the grace of God, he'll be co-hosting with Mr. Saleh. And we want it to be like a live thing. We have chairs here, people can come and sit in the yard here, they ask that question, and the audience can ask questions. Something like that we want to do. Look, until me as a leader decide to say, you know what, I must stand above partisan line. This community will continue to be petty as it is. It's just sad that we're going to do these things. So look, they're not going to draw us down in these things. If there's a show for any other candidate, they want me to go there tomorrow, I'm ready to go there. But as long as, Philip have given us the opportunity to come on the show, and not only today, going forward now, because I know the community need answers, the community need to hear from us, I think I will ask Philip in his public manner to give us at least every other week, give us a day on his platform. Open Tour every other weekend, give us a day on your platform, please. Let's continue to address some of these issues as we go forward. Coming back to the 501c, I didn't want to be a little bit, I think it was kind of the way Nyan came up with his question. It was kind of, look, but everything we do it in confinement with the laws. Wherever the 501c is, it's not a secret thing. The board is aware. It was discussed with the board. The vice president is aware. The financial person is aware. Nyan probably want to play, that he doesn't know where it is, but the board is aware. And the relevant people in the government who are knowing about it, know about it. And like I said, as a responsible president, your documents will be controlled. At the day of turning over, it will come in one piece to you. And so we just wanted to make that clarification.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I have the call, and this is the last call to end the night. So let me just take it from this person here. I don't know who's this person. Let me see who's this person. All right. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Anthony Geffler again.
Okay.
One area the president just talk about is about why people are not stressing on the due payment, but they are worried about the attendance. I am shocked when the election commission, the current administration, and maybe the two opposing parties coming into the election will sit and let people vote just simply because they just want to vote to people, voters. The Constitution spells out that every year we should pay $60. It is a shame for all those who are behind. Okay. Before the end of every year, calendar year, your due must be paid. But I still see officials of the Constitution who are not even paid last year, and we are into this year. I think that is a shame on them. And the election commission to overlook that and try to settle for two years. What will become of those who paid their 3 year fully? I think we have to stop this. And the president is surviving with ready to power. Now he tried to encourage it, so it's going to become a pattern during election. Every year can say, well, we for compromise. I think this has to stop. And the president, it should start with the president today to announce that from this day forward, he can make an executive, he can issue an executive order that no election, nobody will be allowed to vote when you are in arrears for even a month. But before the election day, everybody who is eligible to vote should be up to date. And I'm shocked that there are people who even on the platform who have not paid a dime. I have the list before me, and they still come there and say they are talking as LAII.
Jeremiah, I'll call you shortly.
Okay? So this has to be addressed. This cannot happen every year come for election forward. So the president way of leading.
Jeremiah, just hold on. I didn't give on.
You want me to adjust?
Okay, after election, I will ever go with that. I call it harvest season. Every time we harvest season money, then you are left $30,000. You didn't need that. All right? What program did you carry on to generate? What kind of fund program did you carry on to raise that money? You know, election card, if that was accidents have to start. And the president should start to do it now with the president condemning those who have not paid, and we should call the election commissioner to allow them to put on their clear his pay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So go ahead, Mr. Jeremiah Saleh.
Again, sorry for calling back, but I had to make some clarity. I finished with that whole election laws and suppressing voter. I finished with that discussion. I'm not wanting to go back and forth. I want to respond to Anthony Dublo that everybody should have paid 180, and because of that, we overlooked that. We didn't overlook that. And sometimes we put communication out. We that put the communication out, we are better at interpreting it. If you want to interpret it based on your own ideology, it will not help you. Now, if you look at the communication from the EC, we say you pay 120 in the community, that people will go for education. You owe. So, definitely, nobody is benefited. So, I live in this community, I've seen what happened in this community. There's the first election commission that even require people to pay 120. So, it means starting from somewhere. Every time people pay 60, come on election days and vote. I don't know. To some extent, to some extent, we tried our best. I need as the election commission to do the best as the committee I never had. But when you put communication, there is no congratulation and thank you. This other scandal, and it's okay. That's the kind of photos that we started with living. But what we did here is that we analyze what happened in the past and what happened. We did a start and we say, you know what? We have COVID where people lose their jobs and other sicknesses and other issues going on. COVID alone handles every economy. So 1 year due is ever $60. Not to have problem with the community. You pay 120, you are eligible to participate in the election, but you owe the association. It's not for the administration to sit down on Saturday, how to get a balance statement from you. We think we are doing our best. We don't ever have this very far. I'm going to give up for God's sake. If you say, if it's 180, you want to get in charge of community. You want to let the 20 people to start, who will be our next leader? If you get to 180, no. Not everybody will put the 180. So we put it at an equilibrium price of 120, and you owe the association 60. They will give you the receipt that you owe 60. How difficult is that for you? It's not like we abandon the price. People still owe you. Yeah, remember you owe people. I mean, we try our best to make things better. You don't have an election commission that gave you a price of 120. You always pay 60, and you've been waiting for years. What's that in this community? They want to adjust it we adjust to at least add the price up to 120 and still people are getting to the association. You say don't say congratulations, but you say crap, baby. So it is sad when people are paying this community. It's very sad. So not at least keep what related with the process, but always complain. And it's very, very bloody. If you have one of these methods in your heart, or all these methods that you know, you should step out to that easy. I mean, if you don't do the process, somebody is doing it at the best way possible, and you still here complaining. So, I mean, that's just my point to him. We get our best. The 180, everybody will take the 180. But to be eligible to participate in the election, say 120 for the social safety. How they will get it once they say from you is why you have next administration with the staff. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah Saleh. So we would go to the president. Mr. President, we just ask you to respond. Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Yeah, let me make my parting comment. Okay,
no, that Mr. Saleh said something.
Let me back a minute before the president make a parting comment. I think I support the idea of the EC. I support the idea of the EC on the 120 guidelines because I mean we went through COVID. It's right, like he said, we went through COVID and a whole year we didn't do anything. Usually people pay dues to participate in the process. People pay due to go to July 26th to drink beer and whatsoever. Why did we benefit that from 2020? Nothing. So, however, making the rules for people to pay 120 to go and vote, I think it's a fair balance. I think they meet us halfway. And I don't think it should, like he said, we usually go about 1 year to vote, and they push it back a little bit to 120. It's a process. They start the process. Maybe the next leadership can take it back to 180. So I'm absolutely in support of that 120. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph Saleh Jr. So, Mr. President, you can respond to the questions and you can just add your part into that as well.
Well, the most of the questions that is being asked is geared towards the election commission, and I think they are prepared to, come up front to speak for themselves. I was able at least to address some of the issues that I understand, but when it comes to election matters, there are a lot of things I don't understand. I don't communicate with them. They don't tell me what they're doing. I don't know what they're discussing in their inner cycle. And so I can't really be definite on a lot of things that they are discussing behind closed door. I want to speak to you superficially. But again, I want to say thank you to you. Thanks to your co-host, Sele, and Chair for being there with you. And I want to say thanks to the community. Again, before we take leave, we say our deepest condolences to the people of Liberia, Lima County especially, for the death of Dr. Guano. Again, coming back to our community, we'll be going around, reaching around, meeting parents who have suffered some of these unfortunate issues that the Colley family has suffered, and see, if there can be something done as a community, whether it's a mentorship in our community, for some of our young folks, we'll be able to meet and talk to them. That can help us. We'll try to see if we can do that. We hope we'll get the support from the community to start a program like that. Please don't forget our 24 program will be this coming Sunday at the Speedway Park. Again, it will be all jolly. Come there, eat the best, what they call it, dry rice in the community, the best fufu, the best roasted meat, the best GB, and all of that. And I want to say thanks to the leadership for all that they have done. I want to say thanks to the board for their support, and to the community, just word of advising, we have a very, very, tender community. Elections in this community tend to be very much, touchy. So I want all of us to exercise some restraint, exercise some civility. It's not going to be easy. If we meet out there, not because I hug Mr. Logan, that means, of course, Mr. Logan is my candidate, not because I hug Mr. Parker is my candidate. No. After all of the process is said and done, we're still going to meet in the same, in the same rooms. We're still going to meet at the same parks. We're still going to merriment and be together. So why should elections, be a process of dividing us? And so, Mr. Chair, like I said, the reason why I'm telling you I'm staying away, it's just simple, because even if my car passed in the driveway or somebody, they will say, but the man car was to the man hot. We saw him that the man supporting the man, So there have been a whole lot of, things that have been said about me. But I mean, that's it, when you're a leader, they say the worst thing about you. Just call the community, ask the community to continue to exercise restraint. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
And we say the election commission, try your best. It's not going to be easy, my people. Jeremiah, you are in the same seat where Sele is in right now, once upon a time. So, that's how life is. So be strong. I know you can defend yourself. You guys want to take care of yourself and defend yourself going forward. So, again, a lot have been said. We may not be able to answer all of your questions Saturday. What time is our program on Saturday, Mr. Sele?
2 o'clock.
Okay, 2 o'clock.
I mean, it's up to Mr. Jonesy XYZ that makes scheduling for Open Table. I'm just a host. XYZ.
Okay. So hopefully Saturday will be on Open Table. Like I said, I've just appealed to Mr. Logan every other week. Please give us one day. So not this week, but the following week, right? The same way we're Open Table, we'll talk to Mr. Akwe, so we can have frequent interaction. And probably through this conversation, we'll try to see how best we can calm the situation down, the excitement for the elections going forward. My people, I know we all have our candidate. Let's remain respectful to the process, the rules. I've said over and over, the whole thing about campaigning, and my man Yan has a smart way of doing it. When I say don't campaign, instead of saying vote for the person, or the person is there, then he will come and put his fat in there. Look at the most handsome gentleman in the community, the three gentlemen, and put it, and then he makes it to look so, but those are all form of, campaigning. And we're talking, and after this program, we want to stop those things. Let's wait for the time. Look at, I am so disappointed with the Liberian Election Commission said, my man, look what they gave us. They gave us what? 1 month, 2 days for campaigning. Y'all saw that result, that thing from the NEC?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we
1
saw
month,
that.
1 month, 2 days for campaigning. That is, I mean, how can you expect Joseph Baga to come 15 countries in 1 month time?
No.
It's not going to be easy. So I don't know. The politicians are not even speaking to this issue, but I will leave it for next time. But that's just not realistic at all. So we say thank you guys, for the show. Again, our community is our community, my people. But like Joseph said, drink your wine, my brother. So thank you.
Drink your wine. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. So that was the voice of the president of the Liberian Association of Indiana, Mr. Rufus Tartee. So, guys, I know we've been here for 2 hours, 35 minutes now. So we would just go ahead and give our parting. So we'll start with Mr. Jeremiah Cheer.
Yeah, start with me because I'm packing traveling tonight. Well, guys, I want to appreciate the viewers back home and in the diaspora all over the world. Thanks for gracing the Logan's Hour, and say a big thank you to you, Mr. Logan, and co-panelist, Mr. Joseph Sele, and also to the president, our guest. I think the discussion was very fruitful, and to all our callers, I think it molds the mind of the community, continue to bring the community together in the aspect of having communication skills and voicing out your dissatisfaction to your leaders. I think is the most prudent thing to do. Going forward, I would like to urge others out there to be more engaging, ask the necessary questions, become a panelist also, so we can ask you questions too. And also, this is not a situation wherein it's only Jeremiah Sele will call, Jeremiah Chill will be on the show, Joseph Sele will be on the show, Philip Logan will be on the show, Mrs. Logan will be on the show, Mr. Tartee. G consistent, I will urge you to be in studio one of these days. Fatih, all the people, I read all the comments, and Tutu, all the people. Solomon, now I know you are a very intelligent guy. I will urge you, be a part of this thing, because this is a venture that sees the way forward. And I would like to appreciate everybody once more and say thank you and good night.
Thank you so much, my dear brother. Thank you so much to you, Jeremiah Cheer, for joining us tonight. Thanks for always, at least, stepping up to the plate to come and join us here. So we will go straight to the tough talking, Mr. Joseph Sele Jr., the man who knows how to use the Queen's language. Mr. Sele, it's up to you. Thanks for joining us here tonight.
Well, Mr. Logan, thank you for affording the opportunity to me and the president, Mr. Rufus Tartee, is out there. I mean, people know that I support Rufus Tartee. I'm supporting him, his project back home in Liberia. And when he usually travel, he comes back here and I have a discussion, and he decided for us to have this show for me to accompany him here. I accept it. There's no way or change of allegiance. I begin and I end where I start in this election process. I'm still where I'm at. However, I decided to accompany Mr. Tartee to this show because Mr. Tartee is doing something back home. And I think it's important. It's important that we support people that will leave our community to go back home. Just how I support my older brother, Mr. Aventi Peno, and I'm going to keep supporting him back home or whatsoever. I want our community to create representatives, senators, lawmakers, ministers. So when people are going back home, we should rally around them, put our hands around them. Even though our politics in the community might be a little chaotic, we all have different views. We all see things differently. We are not enemies. we are community dwellers first and foremost. Matter of fact, we have families here. And sometimes we do things outside the lines and boundaries of our own thought process. We have conscience, or we're gonna try to use our conscience going forward, and we're gonna be speaking whenever it's necessary. We know sometimes the way we speak and sometimes the way we address issue, feelings are inflamed, and we don't mean any harm in any way, shape, or form. We want people to do the right things because we all are him, or we know sometimes you err. And I'm sitting here, I make mistakes a lot of times. So thank you, Mr. Logan. Wish you well as you are going forward in this process. I wish the other candidate, Mr. Judas Piper, well as well. Again, I'll start and I end to where I started in this whole process, and not to leave your presence without giving a shout out to my dear brother, Mr. John Z. SYZ Akwe, my co-chairman. Love you, brother. And Mr. Jan Vulu there of Open Table. See you so long, Mr. Logan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph Azigi Zaka Sele Jr. Thanks for joining us tonight on this platform on the Logan's Hour. And, you know, I want to say, give credit to Mr. Rufus Tartee as the president of the Liberian community for also putting this team together, because on Saturday at Mr. Richard Boyer's house, he said to me that, I would love for you to host me, and I want Joseph Sele to be part of the show, and I want Joseph Sele to host me, and I want you to be part of that show. So there was all planned at the house of Mr. Richard Boyer, and we both agreed, because there are some people in town here never thought that Joseph and myself could share the same platform. And surprisingly, something that people don't know, behind the scene, when Joseph and I meet in places, we can sit and talk for the longest. We can sit, like the other day, the Richard Boyer house, everybody that's up. When it just announced it, we can talk for the longest. So we are not enemies. We are not making confusion. Just sometimes Joseph disagree when it comes to the issues. And he's a very bold gentleman. He look in your face and say as it is. He really don't care how you feel about it. But it is what it is. I want to say to all of my people following us tonight, I want to say thank you so much. I wanted to call some of the names, but the names I'm seeing here is almost like, if I start to call the name tonight, I will not leave from here. But I want to say to every one of you that follow us tonight, those are you that make your comment. I want to read your comment as well, but it will take me a whole longer time because we've been here for 2 hours, 41 minutes now. I want to say to my followers, those that share the show, thank you so much. If you're looking for more of the community activities, if you're looking for more of Indiana, what's happening in Indiana, go to YouTube and just click on the Logan's Hour. You will see baby shower, wedding, happenings of the time. Everything is right on YouTube. And it's easy. All you need to do, tap Logan Hours on YouTube. You will see the logo, and you will see all of activities of Indiana. Tonight, I want to say thanks to everyone for joining us. Thanks to Joseph Sele, thanks to Jeremiah Chie, thanks to all of those who joined us tonight, and thanks to Mr. Rufus Tartee, thanks to Dr. Famula, and thanks to the board chair for holding this community together. We want to say we love you guys, we care about you guys, we pray for you guys. And don't forget, on Tuesday, the man you heard on the phone, he will be coming back. Mr. Jeremiah Chie and Mr. Anthony Gifler. Imagine Jeremiah Chie will be asking Mr. Tony Gifler questions on Tuesday. Don't miss this show on Tuesday. It's just right after Labor Day. Jeremiah Chie and Anthony Gifler. And I want to say thanks to my beautiful wife. My wife made me to be looking like a real guy here, chilling. You see me laying by when your wife is in the back and your children's in the back, you feel so relaxed. So that's what happened to me. So thanks to everyone for following us tonight. All of those who follow us, I want to say congratulations again to my dear brother and friend, Roland Akwe. Here, his beautiful wife to be, Mevina. right, so I want to say it was fun. Roland, thanks to you and your beautiful woman, and wish you God's blessing while you wait for your little baby to come. And to my followers out there, to those who follow the show, those who keeping us up here, we want to say we will not disappoint you. We will stick to what makes the show better. And we hope that you too, as you follow us, let's stick to what makes this show better and not to denigrate the show, not to use profanity or whatever. Thanks to everyone for following us tonight. We want to say thank you. Good night. Like it, though. Peace.